I'm just doing a little planting experiment, planting some bell pepper seeds from bell peppers from the produce section at a local grocery store. My bell peppers this year were definitely a failure. So I decided let's try to grow them indoors. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lisa. I garden on Vancouver Island in the Pacific Northwest. Last winter, I noticed the price of vegetables skyrocket in our local area in the middle of winter. For the first time, a head of romaine lettuce was $10. No joke, I should have taken a picture of it because I was mind blown. So this winter, I decided I'm going to attempt to grow food indoors inside my home all winter. Last winter, I started watching this gardening channel called Mike's Chaotic Gardening, and he was doing a ton of indoor gardening, growing things, particularly peppers, I believe both spicy peppers and bell peppers inside his home, and I was so inspired I decided I needed to give it a try this winter. Here's a quick little clip from his channel. His indoor garden is absolutely amazing. The other channel that was super inspiring to me last winter was Clive's Conundrum Garden. Jason and Colleen were growing tomatoes inside their house, and they actually did get tomatoes that grew on the vines and I believe ripened inside their home, at least partially. And I was really inspired to try this myself. I've never attempted to grow tomatoes to maturity inside my house, so we're gonna give it a try. Introducing my first ever winter food garden inside my home. We're going to start right in front of me. This is a little nightstand, and I have a bunch of lettuce greens growing here. Haven't decided if I'm going to use these as baby greens or start potting them up into more growing space so they can become bigger heads of lettuce, but regardless, I've got a ton of seedlings in here. I started them outside, and in case you're wondering, this is a pot within a pot. The original pot has drainage holes and the cover pot has no drainage holes. They're exactly the same pot, so they stack well inside each other. And they are from the local Dollarama. Moving right into the windowsill, let's take a look at what we've got going here. These, I've got several of these. These are basil plants. I've got 2 in this pot. I've got 1 here and 2 over here. These I seed started last winter, early spring, in the same windowsill. They grew into little seedlings. I had them in the vegetable garden all year. They did get kind of beat up out there, but they're back in the window and we're gonna keep on eating from them. Typically these days I've been eating the leaves in scrambled eggs with a little bit of breakfast sausage, and basil is delicious. I've also done that with tomato. Add some tomato and basil to your scrambled eggs. It will make it very flavorful. Moving along this way, I'm going to insert a little video clip here. These are bell pepper seedlings, and I'll let you watch the clip before we continue. I'm just doing a little planting experiment, planting some bell pepper seeds from bell peppers from the produce section at a local grocery store. My bell peppers this year were definitely a failure. So I decided let's try to grow them indoors. I've seen Mike from Mike's Chaotic Gardening do this, so I thought I would give it a try. This will be my winter gardening experiment. So you can see I planted these from a grocery store bell pepper, and I've got lots of sprouts already. It's been almost 2 weeks since I filmed the original clip, and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sprouts already. So that is super exciting. Moving along this way, these are tomato seedlings, and I'm going to insert another video clip here and show you where these came from. I was just out in my vegetable garden doing some transplanting. I've got seedlings coming up everywhere. These are some of my Japanese mustard greens I planted with you in a fall cleaning video. I have literally seedlings everywhere. And I discovered what I believe right here are tomato seedlings. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer. I don't know if they have any of their true leaves yet, but I'm fairly certain these are tomato seedlings. So I am going to be transplanting these into one of my milk jugs from my winter sowing / spring sowing. And they're gonna stay there for a little while before winter when I actually bring them into my house and attempt to grow tomatoes indoors. I mentioned in the video clip that I was planting the milk jugs. Well, I did. I have one milk jug outside with 6 seedlings, and I put the other 6 into this growing tray. I wanted to give them a little more space for growing, so I didn't want to overcrowd the milk jug, but I could not believe that I found tomato seedlings in my fall garden. Did not intend that to happen, but I had to take advantage of the fact I already had little seedlings growing. Let's leave the window now and venture up onto this little piece of furniture right here. Super old piece of furniture, but we are using it as a plant stand. In here I have, this was a grocery store romaine lettuce that I have planted, and it is already regrowing. I've got some lettuce transplants that I put into here to fill in the pot a little bit more. I do have a couple more seedlings and pots of greens outside that I started this fall, and I'm definitely thinking about bringing them into the house. I just haven't figured out the logistics of that yet with cover pots or water trays, that kind of thing, to make sure that the house doesn't get wrecked from bringing pots with drainage holes into the house. I definitely need a plan before I do that. So I'm working on that, but this room may become a little more full of edible plants before the fall is over. Supervisor had to join in for the conclusion of this video. He's always a little disappointed if he doesn't get to make any cameos. Thank you so much for watching my little indoor gardening video. I hope this inspires you to start an indoor food garden regardless of your growing space. You might have a little windowsill or a little countertop that is very well lit that you could grow food in. Do remember, if you're growing salad greens, they do not require as much sunlight as most other crops that you could potentially be growing. Thank you so much for watching, and we're going to try to make this a weekly update. So in a week from now, I'm going to try to give you another update on how my little indoor food garden is growing. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, night, wherever you are. Bye for now.